So, welcome back to another episode of Net Support Women, where we're shining a light on the women in net support and the different roles that they have, and their achievements and what it's like working in a tech company. So, I have got with me today both Heather and Kat. Hi, both.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you
Hi,
both
how are you,
today?
Kat? Oh, we're doing all right. Thanks for setting this all up for us, Kat. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for joining me.
Pleasure.
So, could you start by both telling us what your roles are at Net Support and what kind of responsibilities those roles have?
Sure. Okay. So where to start? I have been the vice president for the Canadian operation for probably the better part of 20 years. When
Wow.
I started, I know, shocking, right? When I started, I was in a sales role, so probably did that for about 3 years and then transitioned to VP. And really, the main focus for me is the day-to-day operations, sort of running the business. So that really includes sales management primarily, a bit of marketing, partner management,
Mm,
let's see, customer relationships, license management, sort of whatever it takes to keep the business running on a day-to-day basis. And
mm.
obviously, we have Kat on the call. She's sort of like my right hand, does all the backup sales support plus accounting. She wears many, many hats. So she's been very instrumental in the growth of the business in Canada for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't know if,
absolutely.
yeah. So that's kind of what we've been up to for the last almost 25 years. Long time.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
really
that
long
was a long
time.
time. Kat, what did you want to feed in anything more about
Um,
your role?
yeah, pretty much the same. I've been with NetSupport for 19 years.
Wow, close.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm Heather's executive assistant. So I'm in charge of mostly accounting and then customer service and sales. And then I help Heather out wherever she needs. And that's
Mm.
kind of my role here.
We just sort of been making it work for a really, really
Yes,
long time.
we're a good team together. So
That's for sure. Really important. Obviously, that relationship has been really important.
Yeah, absolutely,
absolutely.
especially for that long period of time.
Yes.
I think that was probably even before your time, Kat.
Yes, it was.
Couchy, I mean.
I've only had 6 years, I think, net support.
Wow.
So yeah, quite a bit less.
Yeah. So when we started, or when I started at the company, we only had two products, if you can believe it, just
Mm,
NetSupport School and Manager. So that's how long
wow.
ago that was. I know.
Wow.
We're
Wow.
telling our age here a little bit,
I
but
know.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's all right. You probably both started when you were what, 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how it's all
exactly.
worked out.
Yeah, we're definitely a lot younger than we were now, but that's okay. That's what life's all about, right?
Definitely. We learn and we grow.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So yeah, that's a bit of the background of our story.
Mm,
Like I said, yeah, it's been a long haul, 20,
mm.
23, coming up on maybe 24 years.
Wow.
And I
That's
and
a
I
long
sold the
time.
product. I sold the product before in a past life too. So
Oh.
I was, yeah, when I was working for a reseller. So
Mm,
it's been a long time. I've been involved with the products for sure. That very long
mm.
time. So more like
Wow.
25, maybe 26 years, because I think we were selling the product for a good 3, 4 years in a past job. So yeah, long
Mm.
time.
That initial product knowledge must have been quite useful for you when transferring into your role here then.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I was picked up, to be fair,
Mm.
because I had some experience already selling the product. I was really in a hardware software company at that time, so we did a lot of network cabling and selling hardware and things like
Yeah.
that. And then we picked up the line of the net support products, so I was starting to get a little familiar before I ever even came on board. But I can tell you, the
Mm.
learning curve was a lot easier then because with only two products,
Yeah.
it was a little bit easier to figure it all out, right? So.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
that's been a bit challenging adding the products for sure, but good to see that kind of growth within the company, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They have
So
not been
that
resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
no, they have not. So that's a bit about both of you within net support, but what about a little bit about who you both are outside of net support as well?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. I think primarily for me, it's all about doing home renovations and restorations
Mm,
and pretty big projects, to be fair.
cool.
Like I've ripped off the back of an old house and put on a second floor and
Wow.
a kitchen. And the one I'm in currently is built in the 1800s and the one prior in the 1800s.
Mm,
So it's quite a
wow.
journey actually taking apart a house that's that old. And
Yeah, I bet.
so yeah, but fun. And lots of adventures there for sure. And I love
Mm.
interior design and I love to
He's
cook. And
amazing at that.
oh, thank you. That's nice of you to say. It's
That's
certainly
really
a
cool.
passion for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So my office looks beautiful as a result.
love it. It's a shame we're not on video, so we can see how beautiful this
That'll be
office
the
looks.
next, yeah, that'll be the next call. You can see what an
Yeah.
1890s office renovated looks like. It's really
Yeah,
charming,
that's cool.
really old baseboards,
Yeah,
high ceilings. It's yeah, a labor of love for sure, but something I'm
gorgeous.
absolutely deadly passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seeing the
and I love to
transformation
cook.
must be amazing. You love cooking as well.
Yeah, I love to cook, and for me, it's like I try to pick international cuisine. So I try to experiment with foods that it's a lot cheaper than travel, and just try foods from different countries, right? So
Mm,
I really enjoy doing that. So I know that you guys are big on the Indian food there, and I've really become quite a master at that. And
love
Japanese
Indian
style,
food.
Asian cooking, yeah,
Oh, and
Hungarian food,
Japanese
like
food.
yeah, you never know that which day of the week, what country I'm in over here with my food,
I
but
love it.
it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun and again, a lot cheaper than travel and potentially a lot safer too. So I'm not a big fan of
Mm.
flying. So yeah, that
Ah,
works out
that
quite
makes
well
sense.
for me. Yeah. And
Mm.
what about you, Kat? I know you got your hands full of little personal stuff. Go
Yes,
on then.
I'm well, I'm a busy mom of two,
Mhm.
um, and a wife. And I do a lot of fundraising events at my children's school at nighttime. So I'm the
Mm.
chair on the school council there. So I run a lot of events over there, but
Yeah, I can
mostly
imagine.
kids. Yes.
Mm.
So the kids keep me really busy, obviously,
Mm.
and their school keeps me busy. So that's kind of my life right now is children, taxi, driver, you know,
Yep.
Uber. She's the
Uber without the
Uber.
Uber.
pay.
Yeah, yeah. Keeping it all running over here. So that's what I'm busy with at night.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
can
oldest boy
imagine.
is running around on the racetrack.
Yes.
It would scare the heck out of me as a mom to watch the speed at which this child is traveling
Yeah.
around on the racetrack, but he's really
Oh,
passionate
wow.
about it. And Kat's been amazingly supportive with helping him sort of achieve these little goals too, which is some of the videos are just incredible, but I watch them in
Mm.
absolute horror. Ah.
Yeah, he's my
Pretty
little speed demon. So his dream is to be the next Formula One driver, but
Oh, wow. That's
that's
amazing.
yeah,
yeah,
it's not
that's
crazy.
and my daughter's a dancer, so that's where
Oh,
we're
cool.
traveling around.
Mm.
But that's a little bit about me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. That sounds really cool. But yeah, lots of driving, I'm guessing, which
Oh yeah,
doesn't
lots of
sound quite so
driving,
much
lots,
fun.
lots of driving.
Yeah, he'll be an expert by the time you need him to drive you around, Kat.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
tell
true.
him as I'm driving him. I'm like, I can't wait until you can start driving me around.
Exactly.
We could get
Exactly.
them to
Your
do all
turn.
sorts of errands for you. It'd be great.
Exactly, exactly. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Hmm.
how did you both get into your roles at NetSupport?
Yeah, I think I sort of already blew that answer as part of my last
Yeah,
answer. But yeah, I was
sort of
already
shifted
selling a
over.
product, right? Yeah, sorry, I did. I got ahead of myself there, Kat. But yeah, so I was working for a hardware software reseller in Markham for a long time, probably about 10, 11 years. And I think at the tail end of that 2 years, maybe 3 years, we picked up the NetSupport solution and started to resell that. So I was getting acquainted with the product long before I made the transition, which obviously was a natural transition for me to start selling the software again directly with NetSupport, and then
Mm,
eventually moving up to my role as VP. And again, I know I said this already, but we really just had the two software solutions when I started
mm,
back, and I think it was in 2001. So yeah, it was pretty easy for me, and obviously lots of
mm,
challenges learning the new products and operating systems, etc. But we have a great team of people that have been really supportive in the company. I'm sure
mm.
you well know that, Kat. I mean, our tech guys are incredible, development's
Yeah.
amazing. So I can't say enough about the kind of support that we've had in the background, everything from marketing, collateral materials, whatever we need. I mean,
Mm,
our resources are just insanely amazing. We're very, very lucky, right? That the company is always on top of that.
absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, we're very, very fortunate in that department. So yeah, that's kind of how I got here, and I've been here ever
Mm.
since. Yeah, true story.
What about you, Kat?
How I got into net support was actually Heather was looking for somebody, and our old office building was a mutual friend, and I was in between jobs, and that's how I
Mm,
got connected with Heather, and we hit it off,
Yes.
and
I
I
mm,
was
was
fishing around in the building that we were in, Kat, to see if anybody knew anyone that was looking for work.
mm,
And one of the real estate agents that worked in our building had told me that his daughter had a friend that was pretty amazing and was looking for work. So I met Kat, and
mm,
I mean, things went well really right away, and we just haven't looked back all these years later. I can't
mm.
believe it's been like almost
I
20 years that
know.
Kat's been with me. That's the longest anyone's put up with me in my life.
Me too. That's so funny.
Oh, I
So
love
yeah,
that.
that's pretty much history, and now here we are.
Mm,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it
it's been
works.
great. Yeah,
Mm. Power of networking to find those opportunities and meet people.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
clicked. Like we work really well together, and we're a good team. So we
It
were
was
very.
meant to it
I was
was
very
meant to be
fortunate.
for sure, right? Timing was everything, that she was looking and we were looking, so it was definitely meant to be. As far as I'm concerned,
Mm,
it was fated, right? Because
100%.
we'd interviewed a lot of people and it just wasn't coming together. And
mm.
it's kind of like as soon as I met Catherine, I knew we were going to be
Yeah, it
able
was
to work
there.
together. We
Yeah.
just vibe together in a good way, and she
Mm,
intuits anything she intuits things on her own, and yeah,
mm.
it's been pretty awesome and makes things easier for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely,
So, so yeah, we have that in spades. We're very fortunate for sure.
definitely.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask, I realized I didn't actually put this on the question, so don't panic if you haven't got an
Okay.
answer for this, but I was just
Uh-oh.
Okay.
thinking it might be nice to share what some of your favorite things are about your roles, or what aspects you really enjoy of them.
Sure.
See, what are our favorite things about our roles? I mean, for me, I guess it's just the constant learning and watching the company change and evolve
Mm,
on a regular basis. I mean, especially during the pandemic, the speed
yeah.
at which we pivoted is really quite shocking, how fast we came to market with the cloud solution. Because
Mm,
so many companies were in so much trouble at that time,
yeah, of
closing
course.
down. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I won't lie. I was a little fearful, right? I'm like, what are we going to
Mm,
do now? And then boom, we had the cloud product, and obviously the uptick on people using it then and certainly now, because the
mm,
product is still being developed, was nothing short of remarkable for sure. And it made
yeah.
everyone feel super supported, like that we were that put the net in net support, so we felt
Yeah.
a little protected there. So it was really, really, really great. So I've certainly
Mm,
enjoyed just watching the company evolve and change, as well as the people too, right? So
mm,
there's always been, I feel like, room for people to change. So what
mm,
we wanted at 20 changed by the time we were 30 or 40, and the company's always really supportive, especially of the women, because a lot of them have,
yeah.
gotten married, had children, and
Yeah, of course.
they make room. They make room for those people because,
Mm,
again, what if you want to be a trailblazer at 20, maybe that looks like a drawback when you're 30 or 40 traveling and doing
mm,
all of that, right? Because
yeah.
what we want changes, and a lot of companies are not open to that. They're like, you were
Mm,
this way when we hired you. We
this
want
is
you
what
to
we
be this way
expect.
for the rest
Yeah.
of your life. So I think I've really enjoyed being, working as part of a team in a company that
Mm,
supports those changing roles, especially for the women and sometimes the men too. I'm not trying to discount the
mm.
men wanting to be good dads and,
No, just
needing
speaking from
more.
the experience of people within the company that you've seen on that journey, obviously.
Correct, correct. So I think we've been very fortunate to work for a company that's saying not only does the company need to change and adapt, but the company needs to be open to the employees changing
Mm,
and adapting, right? So I think we have that two-way conversation going on for sure with this particular company. So yeah, lucky us,
mm.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. That
Absolutely.
flexibility is so important.
It is. It's everything, actually. It's everything because you don't want to work for a company, like I said, that is really hard pressed to say this is the way we
Mhm.
hired this person with this particular personality, with this strategy, and now they're changing, and we're not open to that, so you're no longer
Mm.
welcome. You know what I mean?
You don't feel
So,
valued anymore,
of
sort of,
course, of course. So those
Mm.
people, lots of attrition at those companies, right? And
Mm.
we don't see a lot of that. We have a lot of tenured employees in net
Yeah,
support. So
loads.
that says a lot about the way that the company's culture is, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I have
Absolutely.
that to say. I went from having nothing to say to, is
I
she
know
ever
that
going to
yeah,
stop talking?
exactly. I knew you would. What about you, Kat? What do you like about your role?
Yeah, I feel the same as Heather. Honestly, I love learning new things and new
Mm.
products. I love seeing what NetSupport has come up with, and even for my side with the accounting portion, we just with our new software that we started, I love
Mm.
learning about it, and it's just great opportunity for
Yeah.
us. So I've obviously thoroughly enjoyed working for NetSupport. Been here for so long, so
Yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
After that
Imagine
many
if she
years.
hated it all this
Yeah,
yeah,
time.
I
she's like,
know,
"I
right?
really
That'd be pretty
hate it,
bad.
actually. I just can't seem to leave."
Yeah,
I don't know why.
exactly.
That's hilarious.
It's the same. I feel the same as Heather, 100%.
Mm. Yeah, you
Yeah.
must have both seen so much growth because you have been here for so long. And like you say, going from like two products, yeah, it's been
Yeah,
a big
Heather, for
change.
Yeah.
sure.
Well,
Yeah.
We've
the
seen a
longer you've
lot.
been here, the longer that lens is, the more you realize how much growth's
Mm,
actually taken place, because you kind of get a
definitely.
different perspective. So
Mm,
yeah, it's been really quite remarkable. And yeah, like I said, I feel that we've been pretty fortunate to work for this particular company for
mm.
sure. So
I
yeah.
think the tech industry has grown so much as well in that time, and just the way that technology is used has changed so much. So I guess
Yeah.
when you are in a tech company, like things are always evolving, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I
Kind
mean,
of inevitable.
you could sleep in one morning and wake up and realize a whole lot changed overnight. That's how
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
that's how fast it happens. And all of a sudden,
Mm,
everybody's pivoting to something else. So
hmm.
you kind of have to really have a great,
Definitely.
a dev team, and obviously the upper management that sort of has their finger on the pulse of what's going on out there,
Mm.
because it changes
Yeah, you have to be
really
so
quickly.
responsive. And that
Yes.
example you gave, about how we moved to the cloud product during COVID is kind of a key example of
Yeah.
that, isn't
Yes.
it? Of at
Yeah.
that point we had to respond to the situation and the challenges.
Correct. I mean, we
Yeah.
either you do or you don't, but then that's the
Mm,
difference, a make or break sort of moment for so many businesses. And
yeah,
we were very fortunate to be on the right side of that during the
yeah,
pandemic,
we
because
are.
so many people were not as fortunate, right?
Mm,
Definitely.
absolutely.
So we're keenly aware of that amazing feat. That I still have no idea how they pulled that off in the time that they did.
Mm, yeah,
But
extraordinary,
yeah,
really.
Amazing.
yeah, incredible.
So, what have your experiences been like of working for a tech company? So, what have been some of the benefits and some of the challenges as well?
Well, I think honestly, from a challenges perspective, it's really just about trying to stay on top of the technology,
Yeah.
right? Because the devices change, the operating systems change, everything changes all the time. That's the only thing I think that we can bank on, is the changes. So we kind of rely on our own team, and again, I'll give a shout out to the team of people that we have, that help us support
Mm,
learning all about these changes and understanding them. They're willing to give us training, webinars, whatever it takes to sort of try and a lot of it gets way under the hood for us, and that's not for us to learn or to understand. That's not our forte really, but the basics, we have lots of support in that department. So I'm going to have to say that that's been, definitely one of the benefits for sure, right? Is
mm,
the support that we have, the marketing team, the dev team, the
mm.
tech guys. They're happy to help, right? They're always happy to help. And
Yeah,
that's a for real.
absolutely. Mm.
And as far
Um,
as drawbacks, I mean, I can't really think of any, I mean, other than the one that I just said about sort of
yeah,
staying on top
keeping
of
on
it. But
top
then
of it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
I translate that into a benefit, because
Yeah.
we do have a great team to pull from, right? So
Mm,
we're not sort of left hung out to dry trying to understand and navigate all this on our own. So yeah, and is it all tech companies like that? I can't say that they all are, but I know that the one
mm.
that we work for is
Yeah.
amazing, right? So yeah,
Nice.
that's what I'm gonna say about that, I think.
Mm,
And we're not really running into the problems with this whole male female discrimination role. Like Kat and I have seen a big shift where honestly, the compliments that we get on a regular basis are people shocked at how quickly we follow up. And I'm like, I don't know
Mm.
what's going on in the world if people are just not getting back to people anymore.
Mm.
But honestly,
Yeah, I've heard
like
about that.
we multiple times per day, people are like, oh my gosh, thank you for getting back to us so quickly. Thank you for getting this
Mm.
collateral information. Thank you for setting up this webinar. Thank you for doing this training so quickly, so quickly, so quickly.
Mm.
And I guess it's a bigger deal than I thought, but
Mm.
we do not leave any stone unturned. We make our own opportunities, we find them, and we're
Mm.
all over it, and we have the backup, like I said, to pull from
Yeah.
to make these deals come to fruition. And we're not afraid to say if the product has limitations, we're not afraid to be
Mm.
honest either and say, we're not going to be able to do this or that. And people appreciate that kind of honesty. And sometimes that doesn't stop the deal from happening either, but
Mm.
they want us to be honest, right? And
Yeah, definitely.
we're pretty authentic that way.
Mm.
So yeah, we've been really fortunate to have that for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything that you would want to add, Kat?
No, I think Heather's nailed it. So that's pretty much what I would say.
Perfect. So the last thing was just what would you suggest to someone wanting to work in a role like yours or wanting to work for a tech company in general?
Well, I think ideally, it's, to find a company where, and it's so hard to say because it's kind of can be luck of the draw, but
Mm.
find a company that, sort of aligns with what your cultural beliefs are. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, when we're 20, sometimes we don't figure that out until we're 40, right?
That's a good
What
Yeah,
point.
kind of
absolutely.
so it's hard to say, but you have to take a look around, see the way that they treat the women in the company.
Mm.
Are any of them decision makers? Are they on the board of directors? Is
Mm.
there room for change and flexibility? And, you just have to kind of be aware, or those are questions you ask during an interview
Mm.
to see, what's actually going on in the company. And again, unfortunately, reality kicks in, and sometimes you work for a company and realize that those things aren't supported, and
Yeah.
you have to make those changes. But
Mm.
I think that's the best piece of advice I can give, is to really try
Mhm.
to pay attention to the way that the staff is being treated and respected, and not
Mm.
just the women, everyone in
Yeah,
general, how
absolutely.
people are being treated, right? And yeah, hopefully, you pick the right company, and 25 years later, there you are,
Yeah, you're still
Yeah.
there.
and still happy if you're lucky, right?
Mm.
And I think that's
Yeah.
the goal is you have to find something that you love to do and
Mm.
where you to work and where you love when you wake up in the morning, you love to go to work. So I think that's
Mm.
just finding
Yeah, and
that.
Mhm. We
it
don't get the
feels
Sunday night dread.
Yes.
exactly, and
Yeah.
there's plenty of those people, right, that
Mm.
are really
Not
hating
happy.
going to work, right? And
Yeah.
I haven't had a single solitary moment of that except for yesterday because of this call today.
Mm. Oh, no, see what I've done to you. I mean,
Kidding.
no, we all have our bad days though, don't we? But we don't want it to be a consistent
Routine.
thing of dreading going to work. It shouldn't, be like that, obviously.
No, it shouldn't.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
You
So
have to
yeah,
do
that's
something.
the sorry, Kat.
No, I was just saying you have to do something that you love. So
Mm.
that
Yeah,
will
and then you
fulfill.
never work a day in your life. That's what they say, right? If you do something you love, you never work a day in your life
Yep.
because you
Correct.
enjoy it. So
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, hopefully that's not too much bragging, but yeah, we
No, I
obviously,
love it.
the testament is the amount of time that we've both been working here. So
Mm,
something
of
is
course.
definitely being done correctly in order
Mm.
to keep employees. And like I said, I know there are plenty of tenured employees out there in the UK and the US and other offices as well.
Mm.
Joseph out in Germany. So these people aren't
Yeah.
staying around because it isn't a good company to work for. That's for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah,
Well,
and we have lots of support from the men too, so big shout out to them. Like
woo.
I know that there can be lots that aren't super helpful, but I say for one that isn't, we'll find 10 that are. So
Yeah.
there we've got a great team of people to help us out all the time. So we're very lucky in that department.
Mm, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. It's been great talking to you both today.
Yeah, it was
Thank
nice to talk to you
you.
too, Kat. Thank you so much.